Some dolls are just toys. Others are something else entirely. It starts with small things, a chair rocking on its own, a shadow where there shouldn't be one, a whisper in the dark. You tell yourself it's your imagination. But then, the doll moves. You swear you left it on the shelf, but now it's on the bed, its cracked porcelain face turned toward you, its black glass eyes unblinking. And then, one night, you wake up, and it's right beside you, waiting, watching, smiling. Because this doll doesn't just want to be played with, it wants something else. And it won't stop until it gets it. The house stood at the end of the street, an old Victorian structure with peeling paint and windows that seemed to watch. It had been abandoned for years, its previous owners long gone under circumstances no one spoke about. When Evelyn Carter moved in with her 8-year-old daughter, Lily, the neighbors kept their distance. Inside, the air was thick with dust and whispers of the past. The wooden floor groaned beneath every step. The walls seemed to exhale as though the house itself was waking up. But none of it compared to what lay waiting in Lily's new bedroom. There, on a wooden rocking chair, sat a doll. It was unlike any doll Evelyn had ever seen. Tall, almost the size of a toddler, with glassy dark eyes that swallowed light. Its dress was tattered Victorian lace, yellowed with age, and its porcelain face had a single, jagged crack running from forehead to cheek. Its smile, painted in a faded red, seemed wrong, as if it had been forced into place against its will. Lily gasped in delight. "Mommy, look at her!" Evelyn hesitated. "Where did that come from?" Lily shrugged. "Maybe the last people left it here. Can I keep her?" Evelyn felt a shiver crawl up her spine. Something about the doll unsettled her, but she didn't want to scare Lily. She nodded. "Just be careful with it, okay?" That night, Evelyn dreamt of whispers, soft, rasping voices that skittered along the walls like insects. In the darkness, something shifted in Lily's room. The rocking chair creaked. The doll had moved. The moonlight barely reached inside, but Evelyn saw the silhouette. The doll was no longer in the chair. It was on the floor, its head tilted unnaturally to one side, staring at the bed where Lily slept. A trick of the shadows, she told herself. A draft. Maybe Lily knocked it over in her sleep. She picked it up, shuddering at how cold it felt, and placed it back in the chair. As she turned to leave, something grazed her ankle. She jumped, whipping around. Nothing. Just the darkness pressing against her. Evelyn hurried back to her room, locking the door behind her. She tried to sleep, but the creaking continued, and somewhere in the house, the doll whispered. The next morning, Evelyn found Lily at the dining table cradling the doll. "She told me her name," Lily said, stroking its cracked porcelain cheek. "Her name is Annabelle." Evelyn froze. "Who told you that?" Lily giggled. "The doll, silly." That was only the beginning. Doors slammed on their own. The rocking chair swayed even when there was no breeze. Evelyn often found the doll in different places, sometimes sitting at the kitchen table, sometimes at the top of the stairs. Then, the scratches appeared. Thin, red lines along Lily's arms, as if tiny fingers had raked across her skin in the night. "Did you do this to yourself?" Evelyn asked, voice tight with fear. Lily shook her head. "Annabelle doesn't like you, Mommy." The doll sat on the bed, grinning. Desperate for answers, Evelyn took the doll to an antique dealer. The old man paled the moment he saw it. "Where did you get this?" he whispered, his hands trembling as he backed away. "It was in my house," Evelyn said. "My daughter, she talks to it. And strange things have been happening." The man swallowed hard. "That's not a doll," he said. "That's a vessel." Evelyn's breath hitched. "This was made in the late 1800s in France," he continued. "It belonged to a girl named Isabelle Beaumont. She was found murdered. They never caught who did it, but her parents..." He hesitated. "Her parents said she spoke to the doll before she died, that it told her things no child should know." Evelyn's skin prickled. You need to get rid of it, the old man warned. Burn it. Bury it. Just don't keep it in your house. That night, Evelyn tried to throw Annabelle into the fire, but the flames refused to take her. Lily's behavior worsened. She barely spoke to Evelyn, only whispered to the doll. Her eyes grew hollow, her skin pale. She wouldn't eat, wouldn't sleep. And when Evelyn tried to take Annabelle away, Lily screamed. An inhuman, guttural sound that made the windows tremble. Evelyn woke up one night to Lily standing over her bed, holding the doll close. "She doesn't want to leave," Lily whispered. Her voice was layered, as if something else was speaking through her. Evelyn shot up, reaching for her daughter, but Lily's hands were ice cold. Behind her, in the darkness, the doll's cracked face seemed to shift. The painted smile widened. The house itself seemed to decay overnight. The walls rotted, the floors groaned as if something beneath them was trying to get out. The air stank of death. Evelyn had had enough. She grabbed the doll, stormed outside, and dug a hole in the backyard. The soil pulsed beneath her hands, as if the earth itself rejected her. She threw the doll in, shoveling dirt over it. A scream erupted from inside the house. "Lily." Evelyn ran inside, her blood turning to ice. Lily was convulsing on the bed, her eyes rolled back, her mouth stretched in a silent wail. And standing in the corner, no, not standing, floating, was Annabelle. The doll's head twitched, its arms slowly outstretched. Its cracked face leaked something black, something alive. Evelyn grabbed Lily, bolting out the door. The house trembled, windows shattered, and then silence. Evelyn never went back. The house was condemned, left to rot. No one ever dared step inside again. But weeks later, as she tucked Lily into bed in their new apartment, a noise made her freeze. A soft, rhythmic creaking, like a rocking chair swaying in the dark. And there, sitting in the corner, dusty, cracked, grinning, was the doll. Annabelle had found them, and this time, she wasn't leaving. When a young girl, Lily, receives a beautiful yet eerie doll resembling Elsa, but dressed in a stunning emerald green gown, as a birthday gift, strange and horrifying events unfold in her home. The doll harbors an ancient curse, feeding off fear and despair. As the nights grow darker and whispers fill the house, Lily's parents must uncover the sinister origins of the doll before it consumes their daughter's soul. Lily Foster had always loved dolls. On her 8th birthday, her parents, Mark and Sarah, gifted her a beautiful doll they had found at an antique shop. The doll had soft porcelain skin, icy blue eyes, and long platinum blonde hair cascading in perfect waves. Unlike the traditional Elsa doll, this one wore an elegant green satin dress with intricate silver embroidery. Lily was mesmerized. "She's perfect," she squealed, hugging the doll tightly. That night, as she placed the doll on her shelf, she noticed something peculiar. The doll's head was slightly tilted, as if it were watching her. Strange occurrences began the next night. As Sarah tucked Lily into bed and turned off the lights, she heard something, a faint whisper. "Lily, play with me." Sarah's heart pounded. She glanced at Lily, who was already drifting into sleep. Shaking off her unease, she left the room. At midnight, Lily woke up to soft giggles. Her eyes darted toward the shelf. The doll wasn't there. Instead, it was sitting at the edge of her bed. Lily's behavior started changing. She became withdrawn, her once bright laughter fading. One morning, Sarah noticed red scratches on Lily's arms. "Honey, what happened?" I don't know," Lily whispered. "Maybe Elsa did it." Sarah's blood ran cold. "Sweetheart, dolls can't hurt people." Lily didn't answer. She just looked over Sarah's shoulder, her eyes locked on the shelf. The doll was grinning. Mark was skeptical of Sarah's growing paranoia. That changed when he saw the doll move. One night, while heading to the kitchen for a glass of water, Mark froze in the hallway. A shadow darted across. He turned on the light. Nothing. Then he noticed something. The doll, previously in Lily's room, was now sitting on the hallway floor. Its head turned toward him. Desperate for answers, Sarah visited the antique shop where they had bought the doll. The shopkeeper's face turned pale when she described it. "That doll. It's cursed," he whispered. "It belonged to a girl named Evelyn Greenfield in the 1800s. She died mysteriously, and her spirit is trapped within the doll. It seeks companionship, but it also feeds on fear." Sarah's hands trembled. "How do I get rid of it?" The shopkeeper shook his head. "You don't. If you try to destroy it, it will only return, angrier." Lily's condition worsened. She spoke to the doll in whispers. Her eyes turned hollow, dark circles forming beneath them. One night, Sarah woke up to hear Lily singing a lullaby in an unfamiliar voice. She rushed to Lily's room. Lily was standing in the middle holding the doll, her head tilted, smiling. But her eyes, they weren't her own anymore. They were cold, unfeeling. The doll's eyes. Sarah and Mark had no choice. They had to end this. They took the doll to an abandoned church, where a priest agreed to perform an exorcism. The moment the prayers began, the doll's body twitched violently. A piercing scream filled the air. Lily, miles away at home, let out a blood-curdling shriek as her body convulsed. The doll's porcelain face cracked. Then, silence. Lily woke up, confused but safe. The doll was gone. Or so they thought. Months later, at a thrift store in another town, a woman picked up a beautiful antique doll wearing a green dress. It smiled at her. 3 months had passed since the nightmare ended for the Foster family. Or so they believed. In a quiet town 50 miles away, Evelyn Carter, a 36-year-old single mother, was shopping for her daughter Mia's upcoming 7th birthday. She wandered through a small thrift store, looking for something special. Her eyes landed on a stunning porcelain doll, its emerald green gown glistening under the dim store lights. Mia loved Elsa, and this doll was unique, a rare find. She picked it up. It felt strangely warm. "Perfect," she whispered, unaware of the dark energy now tethering itself to her family. Mia adored her new doll from the moment she unwrapped it. "She's so pretty, Mommy," she chirped. "Her name is Elsa, but I think she likes the name Evelyn better." Evelyn frowned. "Sweetheart, how do you know that?" Mia smiled. "She told me." That night, as Evelyn checked on her daughter, she noticed the doll sitting at the edge of Mia's bed, facing the girl. She could have sworn she left it on the shelf. Shrugging it off, she placed the doll back where it belonged. She never saw the slow, deliberate blink it made as she turned off the light. It started with whispers. Then came the nightmares. Mia woke up screaming one night, clawing at her arms. Evelyn rushed in, gasping as she saw fresh scratch marks on her daughter's pale skin. "Mia! What happened?" Mia sobbed, pointing toward the shelf. The doll sat there, completely still, except for its head, which seemed slightly tilted. "She doesn't like when I ignore her," Mia whispered. Evelyn felt an icy chill crawl up her spine. Determined to prove it was Mia harming herself in her sleep, Evelyn set up a baby monitor in her daughter's room. The next morning, she reviewed the footage. What she saw turned her stomach. At 3:14 a.m., Mia lay perfectly still. The doll, however, was not. It moved, slowly, unnaturally, climbing down from the shelf. It stood by Mia's bedside, its small porcelain hand reaching toward her arm. The moment it made contact, red scratches formed. And then, the doll turned. It stared directly into the camera and smiled. Evelyn screamed, dropping the laptop. The house became a prison of terror. Lights flickered. Objects moved on their own. Mia began speaking in an old-fashioned, eerie voice that wasn't hers. One night, Evelyn awoke to a strange noise. A soft, rhythmic tapping. It was coming from Mia's room. As she entered, her breath caught in her throat. Mia was sitting in bed, giggling softly. The doll sat in her lap, its small hand tapping against the wooden nightstand. "Mommy," Mia whispered without looking up. She says we should all be together forever. Evelyn grabbed the doll and hurled it against the wall. It let out a piercing, inhuman scream. Evelyn sought out an expert, Dr. Malcolm Rhodes, a paranormal investigator. When he arrived at the house, he immediately sensed the darkness. "This isn't just a haunted doll," he murmured, examining it. "It's a conduit. Something far worse is attached to it." He placed a crucifix near the doll. The moment it made contact, the wood burned black. "This spirit doesn't just want companionship," he said gravely. "It wants to possess." Evelyn's heart pounded. "How do we stop it?" Dr. Rhodes hesitated. "We need to perform a severance ritual," he said. "But it won't be easy. The spirit will fight back." That night, they performed the ritual. Dr. Rhodes chanted prayers, lighting protective sigils around the doll. The moment he began, the room grew freezing cold. Then, an ear-piercing shriek. The doll levitated, its green dress fluttering as an unseen force howled through the room. Mia, possessed, let out a guttural laugh. "You cannot take me away. She is mine," Evelyn sobbed. "No, she's my daughter." Dr. Rhodes pressed a blessed medallion against Mia's forehead. She convulsed, screaming as dark energy poured out of her. The doll cracked, its porcelain skin shattered, revealing a charred black core. With a final, deafening screech, the energy was sucked into the medallion. Then, silence. The doll lay in pieces. Mia collapsed, breathing heavily. "It's over," Dr. Rhodes whispered. But as Evelyn held Mia, she didn't see the last tiny fragment of the doll's face. Its lips curled upward in a final knowing smirk. Months later, at an underground black market auction, a mysterious collector examined a small, unmarked box. Inside, a single porcelain shard from a once beautiful doll lay wrapped in velvet. The collector grinned. "Ah," he whispered, "she's not done yet." The end. Or is it?